You're listening to a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.
And I thought yesterday was cold. At a 7 o'clock p.m. first serve, the thermometer read -6 degrees. Right now, at the middle of the day, -15 in Muncie, Indiana. It's game 2 of a Hoops doubleheader, moments away, as the women's squad was just defeated by the Miami Redhawks 72-52. The Ball State women's team no longer undefeated in conference play, and the visitors find themselves at the top of the conference. Next on the docket is a matchup between two teams in desperate need to stack some dubs. The Northern Illinois Huskies and Ball State Cardinals duke it out at the bottom of the MAC, each hoping to bring some wind to their sails. Welcome to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. I'm Dylan Budd. To my right is Zander Woods. Zander, it's a matchup like this, one that seems lackluster on paper, that reminds us of the beauty of MACtion.
Oh, absolutely, D. Bud. And here in Worthing Arena, we have a matchup of the 11 and 10 matchup between Ball State and NIU, and this is definitely going to be an interesting one, a battle of styles. A Ball State team that likes to get out in transition, likes to fire at all cylinders quick and in a hurry, and then you have the methodical offense of NIU that can match stylistically, but also have a more densely concrete proven offense that knows how to pick and choose their shots and knows how to get into their pace in space.
The last matchup for the Huskies was a loss by 3 to the Ohio Bobcats in Athens. The most alarming statistic, they allowed Ohio to shoot 50% from the field, also giving up 23 points off of turnovers to NIU's 9. It was a back and forth game with 11 lead changes, but when you're letting the Bobcats rein it in like that, that's unacceptable at any level.
Oh, absolutely. And this team, similar with Ball State, they struggle at allowing teams to not only just score from the field, but they also give up a high amount of threes per game. They actually let Ohio score 50% from 3 in that game as well. And though NIU's offense, they're able to combat, and this is a team that can get into shootouts. And a lot of their losses have been close, and that just shows that they're not able to necessarily finish games as well for them. But when you're coming against a team like Ball State that struggles as a team, now they have guys that can shoot the 3, but collectively as a team have yet found their rhythm this late in the season. This should be a favorable matchup for them.
We talked off air about the lack of cohesion on this Ball State offensive frontier, especially once they get into the half court. Their last game, a 1-point victory against Central Michigan that required Davion Hill to score a layup and one with 16 seconds left. They were up 13 at half. The Chippewas were clawing their way back. The Cardinals finished them off late.
And you know what's so funny, D-Bud? As you say, they were up 13 in the first half. If you look at this Ball State team, they are extremely competitive. If you just look at the numbers from their first half statistics, they're very competitive in the first half. They only are outscored by 5 points on the season. It's when you get to the second half where things become just a little bit murky for the Cardinals, right? Being outscored 697 to 734. And that's, in my opinion, would have to do with how this Ball State team likes to run their offense. We already mentioned in the pregame show, and we talked a little bit before we got on air about how this team likes to get out, and they like to really push the pace, and they like to dictate a fast tempo throughout the whole game. Well, in the first half, that can work, especially when you're running as an athlete on adrenaline, right? But then once that second half sets in and then teams are able to understand that, hey, listen, we know you want to get out. We know you want to press our guards, and we know that you want to cause turnovers and get out and run. But we're going to put a stop to that, right? We're going to slow your offense down. We're going to trap you in the backcourt, and we're going to make you say, hey, run your offense in the half court. Well, when your leading passer is getting you around 3 assists a game, but turns the ball over more, or arguably more, as much as he passes it, you know, it could be a little bit scary for you as an offense and as a signal caller here for Michael Lewis when you're in those situations, right? Because you don't necessarily have a true point guard as in a player that knows how to dictate your offense. And when you're getting into the half-court sets and when you're being forced to run an offense and you're not efficient at it, and you're already an inconsistent jump shooting team, and you're not able to capitalize off of second chance points because you're not a great rebounding team, it can be pretty hard for you to be competitive in these games, no matter how good you are defensively.
Well, Coach Uremovich of Ball State football would tell these guys to attack and finish, the mantra of Ball State football. I think back to that EMU game. You talked about how the Cards really, with their small ball lineup, try and outpace their opponents and as well as get ahead or very close and keep it competitive in the first half. In that Eastern Michigan game just a few weeks back, they were down single digits at half. It ended up being a 74-52 loss, the biggest blowout in series history between the two schools. And not only did Eastern have their way with the Cards, but the small ball, fast offense that the Cards try and maintain and dictate, Eastern outran them in the game.
And you know what, D-Bud? That goes to the point that we were just talking about on air, right? If you're looking at this team and you looked at the team comparison to Eastern Michigan, Ball State's leading rebounder only had 5 boards, and they got out-rebounded as a team. And so when you're looking at that pace, well, how do you dictate pace in a basketball game? It's about possessions. And when you don't have as many possessions, and see, that's when that statistic of pace can also become a little skewed, because you could say to this team, wow, they want a fast-paced team, but yet if you're not having the opportunity to actually get out and run and to actually run your offense and score in the bunches that you would like to, you can't dictate it because you don't have the basketball. And that all comes in the hand of what we were just talking about, rebounds and creating second chance opportunities for yourself. And this team struggles down low, and they struggle with their identity of a physical rebounding team. And so because of that, that's how they were able to simply just run out of gas once you get in the second half.
The buzzer sounds at Worthen Arena. The national anthem and starting lineups coming in just a matter of moments. We're going to step aside on our end. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paint work on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Ranked number 1 in the nation by the Broadcast Education Association. This is Ball State SportsLink with SportsLink Digital Radio.
National anthem just finished up here at Worthen Arena in Muncie, Indiana. So it's time to take a gander at starting lineups, and we begin with the visiting Northern Illinois Huskies. A true point guard, number 0, Gianni Cobb, gets the start. The Chicago kid has 71 assists and is one of the top distributors in the conference. Then it's Mekhi Valentine, a shooting guard from Munhall, Pennsylvania. Coming off of another double-digit performance, he's got 10 in all but 4 games this year, including 12 of his last 13. Then it's the guard at 6'5", a true hybrid, Taj Walters. 10 points in 5 of his last 6, and he's started 9 of the last 11 games. Then is Dylan Dukeman, the guard at 6'4", weighing 190 pounds from Switzerland. One of the international prospects on this Husky squad from DeKalb, and the other, Gustav Winther, will be a 6'10" forward from Denmark, coming off of just 4 points and 1 rebound last game, really looking for his get back. Now for Ball State, it's Elmore James to start us off. The Cleveland kid spent 3 years at Ohio before coming here to the Redbirds. Next up is Armani Ziegler, averaging 25 points in his last 3. The Pride Mark Construction Athlete of the Week here at Ball State. He's the first player in the conference to have 25 or more points in 2 straight games against MAC opponents, after 30 against Akron and 28 against Ohio. Then it's Devin Barnes, who's really started to finally put things together. 5 big-time threes against Central Michigan in their last game. Mason Jones, one of the more consistent starters in this lineup, will be one of the forwards coming off of his terrible game. He needs a get back. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Only 2 shots in 23 minutes as a starter. Rounding out the lineup is Preston Copeland. The true freshman has really established himself as this Cardinals center in a small ball lineup. He's fast, he's physical, and he muscles his way under the rim. Now Zander, 10 different names taking the floor first. Who is going to be our impact players for either end?
If I'm Ball State, what I'm looking at right now, for my impact player, it's going to have to be the true freshman, Preston Copeland. Now, though he might not be the most important player to this team, nor the best, however, his impact of rebounding and creating second chance opportunities for this team is going to be crucial when you're going to be going up against a physical NIU team. And then for the Huskies, if I'm the Huskies, I'm looking at my player as Gianni Cobb. He is an amazing on-ball defender, and he averages 2 steals a game. He's top 50 in the country. If I'm him, I'm putting him on my best scorer, Armani Ziegler, who you noted, averaging 25 over his last 3 games. However, he does turn the ball over. If I'm the Huskies, I'm putting Gianni Cobb right on him as he's bringing that ball up of half court. I'm trapping in. I'm trying to create as many turnovers for my basketball team as possible so I can get out to an early lead.
This is a fun matchup of personnel ahead for either end. Ball State, in their home white uniforms, red numbers, black trim. As for the visiting Huskies, it's their battle red, white numbers, white trim for the visitors. Just seconds away from the opening tip. It'd be Preston Copeland against Gustav Winther. Cardinals, Huskies, 10 seed, 11 seed. They may be at the bottom of the conference, but I've got a feeling that this is going to be a barn burner.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And when you're looking at these 2 teams, though they're at the bottom of the conference, you know, D-Bud, it's always funny how these games seem to turn out when you're looking at 2 teams that not too many people want to tune in, but yet they turn out to be some of the best games.
The starters take the floor. Ziegler gives a hug to Taj Walters. Copeland, toe-to-toe with Gustav Winther. The tip, won by the Huskies, and we're underway. Valentine dishes it to Gianni Cobb, the Huskies distributor. It'll be Winther, kicks it out to Dukeman. Now at the top, it's Cobb, defended by Devin Barnes. Walters to Dukeman. Jones switches on. Center on center, but it goes back to Cobb. Hedging the screen is Barnes and Copeland. Now it's Jones up top with Taj Walters. Immediately a shot clock violation. Doesn't touch any bit of the backboard, and the Cards stout defense early.
And you know what, D-Bud? That possession was all Devin Barnes right there, as he was able to not only hedge on that one screen, he blitzed Gianni Cobb right before he was about to make that decision, making him pick up his dribble and immediately distribute it.
Now Barnes weaves his way up the court and dishes it to James on the far corner. Cards move left to right, Huskies right to left. Pick and roll for Copeland. Barnes gets it to him, and it's an easy lay. Preston Copeland draws first blood.
That's an amazing roll by Preston Copeland. Strong hands, and even stronger drive as he takes it to the cup for 2.
Gianni Cobb working on the right wing. Back up top to Winther. Dukeman takes over, pick and roll this time for Northern Illinois. Copeland keeps his hands up, whistle blown. And then it'll be the foul on the true freshman. First one of the day for either end, and it's Preston Copeland. Michael Lewis already having a word with Copeland, a record of 55 and 58 in his 4 seasons, conference record of 27 and 44. He's 2-0 since he's grown out that mustache and beard. Perhaps a superstition for the Bob Knight product.
Well, you know, in sports, it's all about superstitions. So, you know what? Maybe if he grows out this beard, he can start to grow out more leads.
Cards coming off a win against Central Michigan, and before that, the dub against the Ohio Bobcats. That Chippewa win was the first dub on the road for the Redbirds this year, and it came all the way just a little under halfway into conference play. Started 0-5, but now they're starting to stack. A stoppage is called on the floor. Perhaps a debate as to if there was a foul or not, where the infraction could be. The Huskies return from their huddle. Coach Lewis uses the chance to jaw at his guys, and now they return. It'll be an inbound from Dylan Dukeman. The Swiss gets it to Denmark's Winther. Working on Jones from the right corner, no good. Offensive rebound from Taj Walters, the spin, scoop, and score. We're knotted up at 2-2 with 18.5 minutes left to go.
And if you're not able to keep Taj Walters off the offensive glass, it is going to be a long night for the Cardinals. Such a physical presence down low, just for a true freshman.
Elmore James works on Walters. Back out to Barnes on the right wing. Copeland is open down low. Simon says jump. Foul before the shot.
Oh, right there. Beautiful delivery inside. You know, you would have liked to seen him dish that off sooner. Good feel for the game right there by Copeland. Watching the center come over there, about to try to attempt to block his shot, gets him up in the air. But then when you get him up in the air, now it's on the floor. You got to go up with that quick to send you to the line.
And now a quick substitution of forwards. Winther checks out for Trey Washington. The product of Providence, Rhode Island, has gotten into foul trouble. 5 disqualifications this year, really known to be a pest on defense. Now Gianni Cobb on Devin Barnes, mano-y-mano, dishes it out to Valentine. Valentine stonewalled by Ziegler. It'll be Walters on Mason Jones. Bank is open. It's 5-4 Ball State.
Taj Walters, again, getting into the paint, getting physical. He does not shy away from contact.
Cards scored a 3 on their last offensive possession. Mason Jones tries for one. Won't land. Clanks off the back iron, and Gianni Cobb now dictates the offense. Out to Valentine. Quick shot for him. Easily scooped up by Copeland. It's back to Barnes. Both teams starting to get in system. Barnes out to Jones. Same spot. This time still won't land. It's a fight for the rebound. James and Cobb both had a hand on it. It'll go Northern Illinois' way. Now checking in for Ball State is Caden Fish. For the Huskies, it's Damar Kelly, the junior from Pittsburgh.
You know, D-Bud, that's the second time that the Huskies were late on a rotation on Mason Jones. Granted, he didn't hit those last 2 shots, but he's not someone I would want to leave open, especially considering his 3-point pedigree.
Dukeman brings it up the floor. Now it's Walters. Washington gets his name called for the first time. Out to Dukeman. Left wing 3, no. Ziegler corrals. He leads the Cards in rebounds and now brings it up the floor. Setup shot for Ziegler. Second straight 3 for the senior from St. Peter's.
Looks like Ziegler is still catching that hot hand off his 3-game streak of averaging 25. If I'm NIU, you cannot let these 3-point shooters from Ball State get as much space.
Mason Jones lost in transition, but now Ziegler has it working on Damar Kelly. Charging foul is called. Kelly puts his head down into Ziegler's chest, whistle blows. Cards lead 8-4 with 16:20 to go, and Gustav Winther checks back in for Kelly.
Yeah, it looked like Kelly right there trying to post up, but if you're trying to post up and you're not able to get separation, you cannot just simply throw your chest into the defensive player. Good call by the referee, and now a turnover for the NIU Huskies.
Ziegler pumps for a three, now slashes down the lane, layup is good. Armani Ziegler, 8 of the Cards' 10 points. Ziegler works on Dukeman, now Jones picks him up. Kicks it out. A shot from Mekhi Valentine won't go. James fights for it. The ball will go to Ball State, and we have our first media timeout. Early on, the Cards lead the Huskies 10-4, 15:47 left to go. Michael Lewis has a word with our impact player, Armani Ziegler, first. And then he returns to his guys on the bench. We're going to step aside as well. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Looking for flawless awards, trophies, plaques, medals, or engraved keepsakes right here in Muncie? Head to Awards Plus, your hometown expert for over 25 years. Located at 301 West Main Street, they're the area's leading trophy shop, serving the Muncie and surrounding area. Awards Plus delivers top quality with attention to detail and fast, reliable service. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. Stop by or call 765-282-3511. Awards Plus, where the achievements take center stage. A proud partner of Ball State Athletics.
Hey Cardinal fans, this is Connor Onion, play-by-play broadcaster with Fox Sports, and I'm a proud SportsLink alum. You're listening to Ball State Sports Live with SL Digital. Chirp, chirp.
Still in the first intermission at Worthen Arena, Cards lead the visiting Huskies 10-4, and the discrepancy already is from beyond the arc. The Cards shooting 50%, the Huskies 0%. And for a Cards squad that tries so hard to land shots from the perimeter, this Huskies defense is leading Ball State into their bread and butter.
Oh, absolutely, D-Bud. And right now we're seeing a team that, and again, we mentioned this in the pregame. If you're NIU, you cannot let Ball State dictate this game. And right now we're seeing Ball State's having their hand and their fingerprints all over this basketball game. And that's simply just off the fact of silly mistakes that is occurring right now on the defensive end for NIU, not knowing how to communicate. If you're a help side defender, you need to be able to have a strong hedge. And not only have a strong hedge, you need to be able to get out and help your on-ball defender, at least once they're coming off these off-ball screen actions around the perimeter. We saw 2 times where Zakai Ziegler was able to use a jab step. And a lot of times people think that jab step is for your is for the immediate defender. No, sometimes it's just to be able to keep that help side defender at bay, because if he comes off his man, that's going to be a simple dish for the interior roller. And that created separation for him to get that three-point shot up. And that's how you see already how the Cardinals have already jumped out to a 6-point lead against the Huskies.
The Redbirds have been keeping the Dogs from DeKalb on their toes from downtown. Devin Barnes starts us off. Caden Fish remains in the game. Pass down low from Jones to Ziegler. Tipped off the arm of Gustav Winther. Now Caden Fish coming off a game of just 4 points and 2 rebounds. A lingering injury from him. His appendix got removed quite recently, and still a battle for the forward from Iowa State. He now receives it on the inbound from Ziegler. High pick and roll for Barnes. He doesn't take it. James rotates to Barnes. Barnes still working on Damar Kelly. Now Fish goes for a 3. Shot clock, buzzer sounds, and Kelly wraps it in and brings it up the floor. Ziegler will now contest against Dylan Dukeman. Kelly back to Dukeman. Barnes defends, top of the key 3. No shots from beyond the perimeter landing for Northern.
How good has Elmore James been on that glass right there, really leaning into his physicality.
Ziegler works past two, but can't get the layup to land. It's a fight for the ball, and a jump is called. Caden Fish had enough of a hand on it. The arrow points Ball State's way, and the Cards retain possession.
And that's just a very high IQ play right there by Fish. Seeing that the ball wasn't corralled all the way on the rebound, he just sticks his hand in just enough so that the ref can see that, hey, this is a live ball potentially, and these are two players going at it. Very smart play and a very high basketball IQ moment from Caden Fisk.
2 guard substitutions. Davion Hill, the 6th man, comes in for Devin Barnes. Gianni Cobb checks in for Dylan Dukeman. Now Ziegler, a crossover. Shake and bake, he gets it to Jones. Ziegler now again from the top of the key. High pick and rolls, Fish stonewalls. It's a dish to James on Winther. Now Jones slashes, James from the left corner. A bounce goes the Cardinals' way, and Elmore James says, how do you do? 13-4.
And Dylan, what did we say again about those late defensive rotations on that corner? That help side has to communicate, or otherwise you're going to keep giving up these corner threes every time.
Now it's Damar Kelly, alone on the left wing. Gianni Cobb, contested by James. A lot of lateral screens from beyond the arc. Ziegler goes for the strip. A foul is called. Cobb hits the deck. And now Dukeman checks back in, as well as Preston Copeland in for the first time today, the graduate Cam Denson. One more substitution. It'll be Taj Walters returning to the floor for Gustav Winther. Another one for Ball State. Trading personnel, Barnes comes in for Ziegler.
You know, one thing that I can honestly say for Ball State, if Ziegler keeps putting pressure on the rim, this could be open up a whole new dimension of offense for this Ball State team just right now trying to find their footing.
Gianni Cobb lays it up to Washington, who's working on Copeland. Ball State wants a travel, doesn't get it. Easy lay for Taj Walters.
Hey, D-Blood, I think Ball State was also noting the fact that Hassan was extending that arm. And I would honestly have to agree with them. Too much movement on that forearm.
Elmore James wanted a shot from the far left corner, doesn't get it. Now he works his way in, almost gets stripped. Davion Hill from the same spot. Won't go. Denson tries to fight for it. Now it's a fast break. Dukeman to Walters. Layup is rejected by Davion Hill, but a foul's called. It's a charge on Walters.
Way to see Devin Barnes step in there, sacrificing his body and causing a charge right there. Hands up, vertical, feet planted. Fellas, that's just textbook right there from a very good defender and arguably Ball State's most high IQ and versatile defender for this team.
Devin Barnes goes for speed. Dukeman hits him in the back, and a foul's called.
Another IQ right there from Barnes. He knows that Dukeman is right on his back, and he's able to handle that press very good, so he's just slowing down the pace, and he's able to cause another foul for NIU.
It's almost the inverse of a chair pull. Changing the pace, making it fast, and then stopping on a dime. Dukeman finds the hardwood. Lateral movement from beyond the arc. It's James. Another shot for James from beyond won't land. Now it's Gianni Cobb pushing the pace on Elmore. Works on two, dishes it to Kelly. Up top, calls for a screen, but gives it to Cobb, working on Davion Hill. Now it's Kelly once more on Preston Copeland. The spin, bank is not open, doesn't touch rim, and Denson collects.
Good job from Copeland, not leaving his feet and just staying vertical.
Copeland wanted the roll off Davion Hill, who now retains, working on two from the Denson screen. The Huskies hedge, but a foul is called. It'll be on Gianni Cobb. Armani Ziegler checks in for Elmore James. Huskies already with 5 fouls. 12:19 to go. Ball State leads 13-6. Ziegler gets the inbound. Copeland a screen. Copeland the roll. Tipped away from Dukeman, Ziegler corrals. Barnes, a jab to his left. The swaying layup is good, 15-6.
Yeah, Ball State is just taking advantage of that left side of the court. On offense, they're getting whatever they want. If they want dribble penetration, a shooter is going to be open. If they decide to hedge on the shooter, then the lane's going to be open too. This is just too easy right now for this Cardinal offense.
Gianni Cobb slashes in. Copeland is credited with the foul, and it leads us to another media timeout. 11:53 to go in the first half. The Cards lead 15-6. We're going to stay right here with an on-court promotion. Take a look what this is. It looks like Around the World is about to be played.
I'm trying to remember, is that the game where you got to make a shot and then you got to follow it up?
You're working around the key.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sponsored by Reed's Plumbing. Don't know what's on the line. I know they're sponsoring this promotion, though. First shot.
I'd use that top of that square. Oh, man.
Oh, it's a race for Around the World. Okay, kid on the left makes his first, makes his second. You've got Reeds on one side for Reed's Plumbing and Cards on the other. 5 shots for each, moving increasingly further back. Now the kid in white on the right goes to spot 3. 2 balls collide on the jump shots. Okay, another shot is good from the right side. This kid's on the D of Cards. And the buzzer sounds. Both kids able to make it to the D. One of Reeds, one of Cards. Some sort of prize announced over the public address. I believe both of them got a prize from Reed's Plumbing. Don't know what they need plumbing for at that age, but you know what? Why not?
It could just all be a ploy for the parents. Might need some new pipes for that kitchen sink.
Hey, it's been super cold around here.
Oh, I'd imagine.
A lot of pipes freezing.
Oh, for sure.
Reed's Plumbing could be making a king's ransom right now.
Oh, especially with the weather that we're expected to get in a matter of hours.
Yeah, yesterday was miserable. Today, checking the phone right now, it's 8 degrees, a real feel of -5 in Muncie.
Oh my God, it made my face hurt just walking out, coming into the arena.
In a word, miserable. It's gotten to the point where the Midwestern dad can't just say it's the wind that gets you. It's cold enough to where it just bites through any coat, any layer that you might have.
Oh, and that bite is vicious, I might add. It bites so hard that, shoot, I might have a couple marks on me.
No sympathy this winter from the Midwest.
Oh, nope, especially not this year.
Cards lead 15-6 with 11:53 to go. Looks like it was a shooting foul on Preston Copeland before the intermission. To shoot is Gianni Cobb, the sophomore guard from Chicago, coming off a 13-point game. 6 of them from free throws. Cobb's first shot, nothing but net, 15-7. Cobb shooting 53% from the charity stripe, 33 for 61. Worthen makes its presence felt. Big breath from the sophomore. 1 dribble, 2 dribbles. The shot, it's good.
Right now, those are the first points for the Huskies that are not created by Taj Walters. If I'm Coach Berno, got to find some other actions to get my star players involved.
Ziegler, contested by Kelly on the right wing. Now it's Hill. It was a full court press for the Huskies coming out of the break. Now Hill works on 2, stripped by DeMar Kelly, who hits the deck and gets it to Dukeman. Davion Hill fights through a screen from Washington and stays on Dukeman. A spin, a move, and Dukeman slashes in. Hands up, and it's a strip from Davion Hill. This will be a breakaway, but off the arm of Taj Walters.
And you know what? Right there, this seemed more like a frustration possession. your team's not doing that good offensively, you're not being patient, and you're just having your head down and just trying to pound the rock away to try to cut into this lead. Dukeman, being a freshman, he'll learn from things like that as he gets going into his already really successful collegiate career.
A give and go for Davion Hill. Won't land, but he's fouled. The infraction is on the shot, so Hill will shoot 2. 72% clip for the guard from Pennsylvania. 36 for 50 is Hill. A choir forms in Cardinal chaos, and the Cards have double over Northern Illinois at 16-8. Dukeman checks out. Makai Valentine replaces. The home court is quiet as Hill hits the second. 8-17, now under 11 minutes to go. Gianni Cobb takes it up, working on the right wing. Valentine, quick to Kelly, works off a Washington screen, but Ziegler's there to stop it. From the left corner, it's Valentine. Now Cobb at the top. Huskies go around the horn, back to Cobb. Cobb slashes in. Ziegler gets an arm. The strip and the jump is called. As we saw from the earlier one, now it goes Northern's way. They'll inbound from under their own rim, and Caden Fish checks in for size.
That was a really smart basketball play right there by Ziegler. He decided that he sees Cobb try to dribble penetrate. He automatically, instinctively decides to leave his man and decide to hit a fire blitz right there, causing a jump ball.
Shot clock violation. Kelly didn't get it off in time. Substitution now, and Dylan Dukeman. Already we've seen him come in and out several times. He averages 32 minutes a game. Ziegler will inbound from the Cardinal bench. Dishes it to Barnes, who taps it right back. Ziegler slashes through on 2. Spinning layup, swirls around and out. Now it's Dukeman to command the Huskies. Ziegler lost in transition. Kelly looked like he had a shot, no dice. Now it's Dukeman working on the right wing. Barnes collects. Barnes and his speed makes it a fast break. Fish on the roll. Slashing through, it'll be Ziegler from the left wing, another 3, no. Dukeman swipes, 17-8 still. It's Damar Kelly who gets another spin and a left side hook. 3 Cardinals and 1 Husky on the ground. No foul, just an out of bounds call.
Ball State on the defensive glass, Dylan, they are really working to establish position. These last couple possessions, Barnes, and in the possession before that, even though he's not in the game right now, Copeland really battling Hassan Washington on the possession prior to establish position. They are not trying to get out physicaled in this game, and they are significantly placing an emphasis on a rebound by committee approach. And I think that might have been the approach coming into this game by Coach Lewis, saying, listen, traditionally we have been getting manhandled on the defensive and offensive glass. We got to be able to get after it this game. And for a team that actually has a significant, or at least a pretty significant rebounding presence, when you're looking at Gustav Winther and a Hassan Washington and a Taj Waters, and for you to be winning the rebound battle, that shows a significant flip in mentality from this Ball State team that we haven't necessarily seen in the last couple of games.
It's been a quiet few minutes here at Worthen Arena. Ball State, no field goals in the last 2.5. The Huskies in a scoring drought since then. So a foul was called, and it puts the Cards in the bonus. Barnes shoots the 1-and-1 and drills the first. As Barnes lines up for the second, Coach Lewis has a word with his guards, Davion Hill and Armani Ziegler. The second is missed. Barnes gets the offensive rebound, jabs to Fish. Hill works his way back, as does Ziegler. High pick and roll, gets it to Fish, working on Winther. A spin, and he's called for tourism. Huskies ball.
I see what you did there with tourism. D-Blood with the slick wordplay.
Speaking of slick, here's Dylan Dukeman working on Davion Hill.
How talented is he?
Unbelievable in the early goings. Dukeman battling on Fish. Easy lay and one. Foul is called on the sophomore Fish. And the Huskies finally in double figures.
Dylan Dukeman, only a freshman, second leading scorer for this Huskies team, coming from overseas. Very talented offensive player. And though he started the game off really shaky, that being his first field goal, one thing you can't say about him, D-Bud, is that he is afraid to shoot the basketball. Really aggressive player, and he, when his number is called, he will eventually hit one.
Dukeman hit the and one shot. Cards working laterally. Ziegler to Fish down low. One-on-one, he can't win. For the first time today, Isaiah Washington is on the floor for the Huskies, but Dukeman brings it up on Ziegler. All alone in the corner is Mekhi Valentine. Still can't drill a three. No trays made by the Huskies, and there's 8:30 left in the half. Now Ziegler tried to take it himself, gifts it to Denson, who gets fouled on the way up.
Beautiful decision making right there by Davion Hill, as he decided to give it up to a cutting Cam Denson. But if I'm NIU, you know, with 8 minutes left in this first half, you got to start to say to yourself, hey, when is Mekhi Valentine going to start putting his imprint on this basketball game? One of the better scorers in the MAC Conference, top 20 in scoring this season. You know, he's a very talented player, and if I'm NIU, I got to find out ways to get him more involved in the offense.
Taj Walters is back. Preston Copeland is back. Mason Jones waiting in the wings. Denson's first shot missed. It's 18-11. Check that, 19-11. Second shot is good from the graduate, and Mason Jones replaces him. Damar Kelly gives it to Gianni Cobb, and the point guard will bring it up. Cobb on Barnes at the Cardinal head, under 8.5 minutes. A screen from Winther, and Cobb slashes before giving to Walters. Walters on the lanky Washington. Winther, more lateral movement from Northern Illinois. Now Washington on Hill. Switches to Jones. Gianni Cobb trying to find anything. This time Gustav Winther tries to put it up. Perhaps he overthought it. Ziegler was going to bring it on a fast break, and looked like it went out of bounds on the Huskies. It'll still be Cardinals ball, but missed opportunity to continue outpacing the Huskies.
Yeah, it looks like Ball State is playing that drag screen motion that NIU is trying to get, you know, with their off-ball movement, sending double screens and hedges. But Ball State is playing it very well and getting really physical with a lot of those screen setters for NIU.
Huskies now running a 2-3 zone. Ziegler, a bump, a step, and a score. The deepest bag on the Cardinals, and he now is in double figures. 10 for Armani Ziegler.
You know, Ziegler can beat you with quickness, and he can beat you with physicality. Such a special offensive player.
Walters wanted to respond with a three of his own, but couldn't get it off. Now Cobb working on Ziegler. A fight between Washington and Copeland down low. Copeland now at the top of the key gives it to Cobb. Ziegler still on him. Cobb makes a move, goes up with Mason Jones, and the Huskies win. 21-13 here at Worthen. Under 7 minutes to go. And Armani Ziegler from the left wing will work on to Damar Kelly.
And hedging, just trying to get that ball out of Ziegler's hand. Blitzing him the moment he touches the ball. He has been hurting them all day.
Ziegler with a turnover. Cobb working on Barnes. It's a fast break. Ziegler slaps the backboard, but won't help him. Gianni Cobb gets the layup. Ball State calls timeout. 6:33 to go. They lead 21-15, but things just got a little hairier after the Armani Ziegler turnover.
And right there for Armani Ziegler, that is, again, Dylan, that's one player you do not want to take your eyes off of when you're so focused on the basketball and you're not looking up. Because Cobb, like we mentioned before, top 50 in the country in steals. He is just chomping at the bit to get an opportunity to get his hand on the basketball. And what do we see right there? He's able to turn the ball over and go the other way and score in transition.
Only 3 Huskies have scored in this one in the early goings. Gianni Cobb with 6, Taj Walters with 6, and Dylan Dukeman with 3. The Huskies as a team shooting 6 for 18, but an alarming 0 for 8 from beyond the arc. As for the Cardinals, Armani Ziegler leads the way with 10 points. As for the other guys on the floor, Davion Hill has 2, as does Preslin Copeland. Devin Barnes with 3, Elmore James with 3, Cam Denson with 1. Ball State shooting 7 for 16 and 3 for 9 from downtown.
Yeah, right now it has been nothing but the Armani Ziegler show, and NIU really can't do anything about him. You stick a bigger, stronger defender, he's going to blow right past them. You stick a smaller defender, he's just going to body you up, and he's going to get to his spots. He's such a dynamic athlete, and he knows how to use his physical gifts to his advantage. And so right now, if you're NIU, you got to find a way to get the basketball out of his hands. I like what I saw right there coming off that screen to get Ziegler an isolation opportunity, but they were having none of that, where they blitzed him off the screen, and then that led to that turnover in that last possession. And you know, all things considered, you're only down right now by 6 points, and that's because you decided to take this basketball game into your own hands by Gianni Cobb, really creating some of the action himself. He's getting pressured. He decides to spin off that and attack the basket. And if you're NIU, that's what you have to do if the shots aren't falling. Ball State does not have shot blockers. They really don't have a strong interior presence, which kind of confused me a little bit. Why? Granted, NIU has players and players that can score in bunches, like Dukeman, like Valentine, who are very capable three-point shooters. But when the shots aren't falling and you're settling for three-point shots, especially if you're looking at a team who, granted, defensively in that perimeter, they can be vicious on-ball defenders. But once you get separation, you got to decide to put your head down and get to the cup, because that's where you can really attack the weakness of this Ball State defense.
It's more likely down low that we've seen these Cardinals go for a strip on the way up rather than go up with and go for the block. But I'm glad you mentioned Armani Ziegler. It really felt like as soon as he stepped on this campus that he was going to be the #1 option. It was just a matter of when. Now he's really established himself.
Well, when you come from a program like St. Peter's that had NCAA tournament success and were really strong in their respective conference, and Ziegler being maybe not the main component but a strong contributor on those teams, he probably said to himself that, listen, I can come to the MAC conference and I can really put on a show at a conference that I believe that skill level wise I could be above. And he just has that swagger when he steps into the room. You can tell that no matter what, he's going to be the guy in his mind.
Davion Hill tried to get it to Jones, but a kick from Isaiah Washington led to a stoppage. Now it's Devin Barnes up top. Kicks it out to Hill, who's working on Washington again. Layup doesn't get any part of the backboard, and it's Damar Kelly who gifts it to Cobb, and Elmore James immediately getting ready to check in. Another missed opportunity for Ball State. Walters works on Jones, gifts it to Cobb. On the off-ball screen, it's Damar Kelly. Still no threes landing for the visitors. Davion Hill brings it up. Yet another high pick and roll, the bread and butter for Ball State. Ziegler gets a stonewall now from Copeland. Tries to skip it to Barnes. Did he save it? No. A whistle's called, and it'll go Northern's way. Elmore checks back in. Mekhi Valentine is a substitution for Isaiah Washington. 21-15 here at Worthen Arena. Ball State leading Northern Illinois, 5.5 minutes to go in the half. This is game 2 of a doubleheader. Ball State women's basketball faced Miami of Ohio. Both teams undefeated coming into today, and the visitors won by 20, 72-52, an outstanding performance from the Redhawks. And both of those programs have been excellent. It's a scramble for the ball down low, and Devin Barnes is down. Took a hard fall on the way up, now getting consoled by his teammates. You gotta hope he's okay. He's really started to put it together in the coming days.
It looks like I'm not sure if he hurt his back or it looked like he was grabbing at his face, D-Bud. I'm not really sure what happened right there, but hopefully he'll be back in the game soon, as he is a very strong contributor for this Ball State team that is just now, like we mentioned, starting to find their rhythm.
Still shaken up and getting looked at by the trainers. You gotta hope he's okay. Kind of fell rear over tea kettle. Like you said, I think he did end up covering his face, but favoring his right leg as well. No idea as to what that could be, but he'll get checked out, and Davion Hill will check in. It's a media timeout. We're gonna step aside in the intermission, or not. These two teams break from their huddles, and we'll stay right here. 21-15, just over 5 minutes left to go. On the floor now for Ball State, Caden Fish, Mason Jones, Elmore James, Davion Hill, and Armani Ziegler. As for Northern Illinois, Taj Walters, Damar Kelly, Makai Valentine, Gianni Cobb, and shooting on the foul was Trey Washington. He drills the first. Washington shooting 10 for 21 from beyond the charity stripe. The margin is now 5. It's 21-16. Can Washington make it 17? No. But an offensive rebound from Notre Dame. Northern Illinois, excuse me. Gianni Cobb has it at the top of the key.
Might have been confusing yourself right there for that NIU upset over Notre Dame a year ago.
Now working at that Cardinal head. He falls and Jones gets another steal. 2-on-1, Hill and Fish lead the way. Davion Hill goes coast to coast. Globetrotting is the JUCO transfer.
Man, how well has he adjusted to this level of basketball coming from JUCO, already being one of the team's most impactful and physical presence, on this Cardinals team.
Spark plug off the bench. Now it's a fight down low. Trey Washington and Armani Ziegler had a joust for the ball. The infraction's called. It's just a matter of who. It'll be Armani Ziegler collecting his first foul of the day. One more and the Huskies are in the bonus. Washington checks in for Damar Kelly. Another substitution as Jawan Maxey subs in for Armani Ziegler. Maxey, this is his first game since the first in MAC play against Miami of Ohio. Glad to see him back out there as he's been nursing an injury of his own.
Glad to see Maxey back. Hopefully he can start putting together a good string of games like we know he can. It's just been a little difficult for him this season. And I think, honestly, when it comes to Maxey, and like we were talking in pregame, D-Bud, a lot of his issues seem to stem from his mental game. So hopefully he can get in rhythm tonight.
Elmore James working on two, tried to get it to Jones in the corner. It's now under 4 minutes, so we'll have another media timeout. 3:54 to go in the first half. Ball State leads 23-16 after the layup by Davion Hill. Now we step aside. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paintwork on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
You're listening to Ball State Sports Live with SL Digital. This is Hadassah Harris with CBS's WLFI 18, a proud SportsLink alum. Chirp, chirp.
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp chirp you can handle.
So much chirp chirp at Worthen Arena, but some of the Redbirds on this squad have really been dealing with several different ailments, and this Ball State team is pretty hurt, Zander. Jawan Maxey's been dealing with something. Caden Fish just got his appendix removed and has still lingering issues with a knee injury from last year. Armani Ziegler came down with a head injury a few weeks back. Devin Barnes just got shaken up and still hasn't returned to the floor. There's a lot of ailments on this squad and a lot of guys that really could bring presences that are being missed. Joey Hart as well with an issue in his foot. The list goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of the reason, and though I don't like to use the injury bug as an excuse for a team's performance, but partially with that being said, this team has faced, at least previously, faced a lot of lineup changes, and they weren't necessarily able to get as familiar with each other, considering how new this team is already. You bringing in 7 transfer players from a team last year that had a pretty strong veteran presence, right? And then now, like I said, you bring in these new faces on the team, and then they're dealing with injuries on top of that. It already makes the job of familiarizing yourself a lot more difficult for a team that's really unfamiliar as is.
Mason Jones took a shot from 18 feet, didn't land, and on a hard fall and fight for the rebound, now it's Trey Washington in his second trip to the line. 23-16, 2 makes would whittle this down to a 4-point lead. It's a 1-and-1, and the first one misses. No tater tots just yet for Cardinal Chaos. Clock rolls, Davion Hill takes it up. It's a 3-2 for the Huskies. 2-3, excuse me.
Right there. You got to hit him.
Maxey was there on the wing, now rotates to Hill. Hill to James, but covered out there by Walters. Turnaround fadeaway for Elmore James, and he's been dangerous from mid-range this year. He has another jumper, 25-16.
Beautiful stop and go right there from Elmore James, getting his shoulder into the defender's chest, sending him flying, freeing him up for the mid-range shot.
Gianni Cobb gives it to Washington. Now Valentine, power dribble, infraction called, and he'll go to the line. Valentine still not in the scoring column, and he's been one of the better options for the Huskies this year, averaging 14 points per game, 19 in his last 3, 0 for 4 from the field, 3 of those shots from beyond the arc, none able to land.
Yeah, Mekhi Valentine, like you stated, D-Bud, one of the better scorers in the conference. Now just finally getting his first points in the game with just under 2:50 to go in the first half. He's somebody, like I already stated, that you have to get involved in the game. He's too talented of a scorer and too good of an offensive presence to not have already to just now be scoring the basketball.
Valentine gets on the board with 2 shots, 2 makes from beyond the stripe. It was a full court soft press. Now Caden Fish was on a guard. They go around the horn. Jawan Maxey's first shot clanks off the rim, and it's a save from James. No. Northern retains possession, but a great hustle play from Elmore James. Elmore James, can't see him from here on radio, but when you look at this guy, he's an absolute specimen, just a bowling ball of a guard.
Yeah, Ball State, him and Davion Hill. Him and Davion Hill, two very strong guards that are not afraid to get under your chin and get physical with you.
It's a steal for the Cardinals. No field goals for the Huskies in the last 4 minutes. Fish tries to get it to Jones. Hill recovers. Mason Jones was open down low on a cut, but Barnes didn't see him. Now Jones works from the right corner, gives it to Barnes. Pick and roll for Jones on two, layup no good. It's a fight for the rebound. He throws it off Cobb, who retains. It's a fast break. Isaiah Washington on Barnes. The latter tried for a charge, doesn't get it. 25-18, and this game just got much faster. 1 minute, 30 seconds left to go in the half. Cam Denson waiting in the wings. Davion Hill takes it up, working on Gustav Winther. Jump stop layup is good. The spark plug Davion Hill makes his presence felt again. 6 points for him.
Ball State guards, absolutely amazing job at handling that blitzing pressure from NIU.
Washington set his feet for a three. Coach Lewis screaming at his guys. Cobb gets a screen. Now back out to Taj Walters. Doesn't get anything on it. It's an air ball. Davion Hill, the speed again. Barnes, a breakaway. Layup is good. 29-20, and we're under a minute in the first half. Cardinals running away with it.
Ball State getting into what they do best, getting out in transition and scoring the basketball.
Cobb brought it up to the front court, and it's a timeout for the Huskies. Now 51 seconds. You find yourselves down 9, and we expect Ball State to really come out hot, and they did so today. If you're Coach Burno, what do you have to get going to get back in this contest?
You've got to be able to try to slow down this pace and space right now for Ball State. And whatever it seems like you're throwing at them when you're trying to blitz the guards off that screen initially to start the shot clock, they're handling that with ease. And here's the thing, they're missing their first read cutting across the baseline, and they're still scoring. That's an issue. That it shows that you're not hedging aggressively enough. So you want to be more aggressive on defense when you're coming across that screen and really forcing them baseline, because there should be no way that you're sending a double team and then he's able to break that by running around the double team. That's just the effort and a physicality issue. And on top of that, you've got to be able to find other sources of offense outside of shooting the three ball for NIU. Go back to attacking the basket, which Gianni Cobb was doing so well. Go back to that and try to find some scoring on garbage points and try to get in better position to get second chance points.
Cobb will have another go, but Davion Hill stonewalls. A jump ball is called. Both guys had a hand on it. The arrow goes Ball State's way. Now it's 40 seconds left. Cards lead 29-20, but Zander, you're right. To be a fly on the wall for either team's locker room coming in at halftime certainly has to be an interesting conversation. Ziegler checks in for Devin Barnes. Some shuffling and terpsichore in the backcourt. Barnes comes back in. It was Davion Hill that got checked out. All starters on the floor for Ball State except Cam Denson in for Mason Jones at the power forward spot. Barnes working on Cobb. Sizing it up. Point guard on point guard. Letting this clock run. A jab step left, skips it to Denson, who drives left as well. Loses the ball and gives it to Ziegler. NIU coaches beside themselves. Ziegler tried to get it to Denson, but there to swat it was Damar Kelly. Now on the back end, Winther tried to get a shot up. Foul is called. I believe it's on Preston Copeland, and Michael Lewis is losing his mind on the other end.
He is turning Cardinal red. He is livid, and he does not like that call, and I don't blame him. Questionable call. It looked like the ball was already out of the hands of Taj Walters right there. A late call, and I understand why Coach Lewis the newly bearded man would be upset.
Hill comes in for Devin Barnes, Fish in for Copeland, and waiting in the wings, Jalen Wharton would check in for Gustav Winther. He gets the 1-1, 5.5 seconds left. It's still 29-20. First shot is made for Winther, who's shooting 56% coming into today. Yeah, as soon as that call was made, Coach Lewis giving that poor official an earful. Now the second shot from Winther. The true freshman, 6'10", 200 pounds, drills the second, and Wharton checks in for him. Full court press show the Huskies. Denson will inbound, likely to the point guard, Davion Hill. It's a football play. Hill works on two. A Husky hits the deck. Last second shot for Hill, no. Wanted the buzzer beater. No dice for Davion Hill. At the end of the first half, the Cardinals lead the Huskies 29-22. And it's as we expected, Zander. Ball State coming out and hitting the ground running.
Oh, absolutely. And Ball State really dialing into their identity here of getting out in transition, like you mentioned, and scoring in bunches. When it seems like the Huskies would seemingly make a comeback or get to the paint and score, Ball State would almost go on a 4 to 6 point run. And that's really what's been the whole tale of the tape up to this point, right? When we're seeing Ball State getting out in transition, when they're seeing Ball State be able to exploit a lot of NIU's defensive inefficiencies, whether it's hedging, poor hedging, a lack of physicality on the perimeter, or when it's simply just a miscommunication on switches for pick and roll plays for Ball State, or off-ball actions as well. That's really been what has been the hindrance for NIU up to this point.
Now some familiar faces work their way to the Cardinal head tonight, or this evening, excuse me. Ball State is honoring the 1985-86 MAC champion Ball State Cardinals, including our good friend David Eha, the color commentator for ESPN today.
Wow, what an amazing honor just to be able to honor those that come before you. And I think when it comes to sports, so much of it, we focus on which new player is transferring in, or what's the new coach, or whatever the case may be. We sometimes forget the people that really built these arenas that we're getting to sit in today. And to honor the 85 MAC championship team, though it might not seem like a lot, that is the foundation for any program whenever you're able to have former players come back and come together and to be united here under one roof.
This MAC champion team, 14 seed in the March Madness tournament that year. And while I personally haven't been able to converse with most of them, the one has been David Eha, and I can tell you, if he's any representation of the rest of them, just outstanding people on and off the floor.
Oh, absolutely. Eha, one of the more, even though I haven't personally met him, I can only speak on the stories that has been told to me. And he always just seems like a very nice guy, one that doesn't seem too busy for a conversation, or doesn't seem too big of himself to acknowledge somebody else's presence. Just a very mannerable person, and a pleasure to be around.
He's a good man, a good player, and a good friend to many, not just at this school, but at this program, and even our program in SportsLink. Several of our talent folks in close ties with the Ball State legend David Eha. Those guys return to the other end of the tunnel, and as a dance routine begins, we're going to step aside on our end. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paint work on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State Sports with SportsLink Digital.
As Billy Joel said best in 1978, it's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday, and the Muncie faithful, known to show out here at Worthen Arena for Ball State men's and women's basketball. And one of the things that Michael Lewis does so well as the head coach is engages with fans. So many promotions to put people in seats. And today, for the doubleheader, for those that checked in early, they were entered into a contest to win a free 56-inch TV. Whatever it takes to put people in Worthen and make it loud and wild.
Well, before I get to that, D-Bud, a Billy Joel reference, showing your season a little bit.
Got to give respect to the piano man. Come on.
Oh, man. Well, I certainly can respect the fact that you can even acknowledge the piano man on a brisky, cold afternoon on a weekend.
But got to see him in February.
Oh, you did? Really?
Yeah, last February. Billy Joel and Sting at Lucas Oil Stadium.
And you got to see Sting. Wow.
Awesome show.
Two legends, I bet. But back to the game, like you said, when we were talking about just the entertainment aspect, one thing we can honestly look at as far as the athletic directory and staff here at Ball State, very intentional group of adults in the room that are able to put together events not only for those spectators, but for the greater Muncie community as well. And so it's always nice to see, especially when we're pouring into resources like that, especially for extracurriculars for our youth, which are going to be the drivers of our country for the future.
Speaking of extracurriculars, it is Student Organization Day, so around the concourse, various extracurriculars, clubs, intramurals galore all around the outskirts of Worthen Arena. 29-22 at half, Ball State leads the Northern Illinois Huskies, and the biggest discrepancy is in shooting. Ball State from the field 44% to NIU's 28%. The Cardinals have been a team that have really struggled in their shots, last in field goal percentage, bottom 3 in three-point and free throw percentage, but from three-point shots, Ball State hitting 27%, not too great, but the Huskies, 11 shots, 11 misses.
Well, 27 is better than 0, so I think in comparison, you're doing all right in that regards. But like you said, no, obviously not a great three-point shooting team. Actually, one of the country's worst three-point shooting teams and field goal efficiency scoring teams as well. But when you're playing a team like NIU and you're almost beating them at their own game, NIU down low, physical team, they can rebound the basketball fairly well. You're already winning in that category, and not to mention you're dictating the pace of this game. You're able to score in bunches. The double teams are not phasing your guard play. You're not turning the ball over, and that's always been a thing for Ball State, not turning the ball over, and that's where that guard experience comes into play that Michael Lewis sought after when going after a lot of these new players in the transfer portal. These guys are able to handle pressure and handle the rock at an elite level, and like what we're seeing here in this first half shake out to be for NIU, you really aren't getting any type of offensive production from your main scorers. When you're looking at a Mekhi Valentine, someone who averages 14 points a game, and he only is coming into the second half with 2. When you're talking about Dylan Duckerman, the freshman out of Switzerland, he only comes into the second half with 3 points. And so 5 points combined total by your 2 main scorers heading into the second half is not a recipe for success, considering you're a team that is very, very dependent on those 2 having a strong night. And almost as if the team is centered around them to succeed. And then when your main volume scorers like a DeMar Kelly has not hit from beyond the arc, or we were talking about another player like an Isaiah Washington having to step up, and he's someone that has inconsistent playing time, and you're relying on him to almost create scoring opportunities for you. That's where things can become a little difficult for you if you're NIU. And so if I'm the head coach right now, I'm curious to see who they're going to lean towards coming into the second half.
The 3 and 4 options for the Huskies, Gianni Cobb and Taj Walters, both with 6 points apop, leading the way for Northern Illinois. As for the Cardinals, it's Armani Ziegler, the only guy in double figures with 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 fouls, but 3 turnovers. And I want to take a look at our impact players, Zander. Preston Copeland for Ball State. Just 1 shot taken, and it was in the first 2 minutes. He made it. 2 points for him. Only 1 rebound, and in foul trouble already. 3 fouls. It's why he only has 11 minutes in the first.
And that's what we were talking about, D-Bud, in the first half. When we're saying with Preston Copeland, still a young guy, he's trying to really figure out his footing as a collegiate athlete. And though he's only played 11 minutes, I will say his impact is felt. I mean, listen, he's battling up against some pretty talented big men down there in the paint. When you're talking about a Trey Washington, a very strong, very stout guy who Preston Copeland was just absolutely battling with for position. When you're going against a Gustav Winter, and when you're also going up against a Taj Winters, who's also a very physical presence down low, it can be tough to stay out of foul trouble, in all honesty, for Preston Copeland. But if you're Ball State, you need him to play with a strong sense of physicality, yes, but without fouling. You know, he's going to be a very important piece for them. Maybe not necessarily in this game, but definitely coming down the stretch as the season is coming to a close.
The other guy in foul trouble in either end is Dylan Dukeman. Already 3 in the first half and results in just 10 minutes being played. But the impact player for Northern Illinois, Gianni Cobb, the distributor, one of the guys leading the way in points. He has 6, 2 for 3 from the field, also drilled 2 free throws, an assist, 2 rebounds, 1 foul, 2 turnovers in his 16 minutes.
Right, and Gianni Cobb, when we're talking about him, we look at him almost like that true point guard for NIU. He runs their offense, and he's a very surefire decision maker. And one of the next steps in his development that I've noticed with him as of late is his shot selection. You know, not the best three-point shooter. And early this season, whenever the defense would sag off of him, he would shoot the ball, and though he wasn't a great shooter, he would still continue to take those shots. Now we're starting to see the next phase of this game of being intentional with the basketball and knowing how to save extra possessions for his team while finding ways to attack the rim or distributing and shooting the ball when his number is called instead of forcing the action. And that's what we're kind of seeing here today. This team is not shooting the basketball well at all by any stretch of the imagination. And so what he's been deciding to do is to put his head down and take on that offensive pressure and responsibility in his own hands and attack the basket.
20 seconds until we get back in action for the second half. The stars are out tonight for Ball State. Jeff Mitchell having a conversation with none other than President Mearns, both often at these events for Ball State, really showing their support in their schools and respective programs, especially the latter, Mr. Mearns himself. Same starters as the first half for Ball State. They take the floor first. Armani Ziegler, Elmore James, Mason Jones, Preston Copeland, and at the 1 spot, Devin Barnes. Northern Illinois finally breaks the huddle. 7 points and 20 minutes separate us from a victory and defeat. The 10 seed in the MAC and the 11 seed duking it out, trying to stack some wins. And as we said in the open, it's a game like this that doesn't seem to matter much on paper that'll prove to be fun in the end. It's anyone's game. Northern Illinois gets the first touch. It's Damar Kelly. They go around the horn to Makai Valentine. Now Winther works at the elbow to Gianni Cobb. Winther was there on the roll. Instead, it's Valentine from the far corner, rebounded by Copeland. The Cards, it's a scramble for the ball as Valentine fought for it, and the Huskies retain possession.
You know, the shots aren't falling for Valentine, but you got to find a way to leave an impact on this game somehow. Doesn't give up on the play, follows his shot, and is able to cause the turnover for Ball State and creating an extra possession for yourself for NIU.
Huskies now move left to right. Ball State right to left. Cobb works up top on Elmore James. It's 1-on-0. Now it's Walters trying for another 3. Still no lands from downtown, but Winther gets the offensive rebound. On 2 bigs, they go around the arc. Makai Valentine tries for a floater. That won't go. Out of bounds. This time, Ball State finally a full minute for Northern Illinois. Several shots, none of them landed. Catching a break were the Cardinals.
Makai Valentine, he just seems to be off his game today.
It's a trap for the Huskies. Ziegler gets it to Barnes. They went full court. Ziegler makes someone jump. All the way himself, gets it past Gustav Winther. Easy lay for Armani Ziegler.
You know, D-Bud, for a second there, I thought Ziegler was going to try to put somebody on a flight. Quick and crafty finish at the rim for Ziegler.
Damar Kelly now works on Devin Barnes. Switches off to Gianni Cobb. It's the point guard. The point guard's duking it out. A foul's called. I believe it's an illegal screen on Gustav Winther. It is his second foul. Trey Washington checks in for Winther. And Winther today just 2 points, 0 for 2. His makes were on free throws, and He's been shooting 62%, third in the MAC, a presence most felt. Ziegler drives, contested by Kelly, and now it's a foul on the aforementioned Kelly. I believe it was a blocking foul for the junior guard from Pittsburgh.
And Kelly, last year, known to be one of the better on-ball defenders in the country, really struggling and being frustrated with guarding Ziegler considering the size matchup.
2 pumps for Ziegler. He goes for the shot. Offensive rebound by Mason Jones. Devin Barnes tries for a 3. No, kicks it out to Jones. Rotates to Ziegler on 2. The screen is hedged. Ziegler, another 2 pumps, but Barnes back outside the arc. Ziegler gets a shot from the right wing and drills it. 34-22, and Armani Ziegler now with 15 on the day.
He's just playing with his food at this point. Ziegler is able to get whatever he wants, inside, outside. It does not matter because he cannot be stopped.
Cobb tried to take it himself. A foul, I believe, is called on Devin Barnes. It is, but Worthen Arena not happy about it. Caden Fish will come in, as will Dylan Dukeman. Should be noted that Damar Kelly, although coming off the bench, he started for most of the year, lost that job 3 games ago, and now finds himself as the 6th man into conference play. Cards lead by 12. Dukeman takes a long time on the inbound, and Washington muscles through Elmore James. The lead is now 10. 34-24 Ball State, 17.5 minutes.
And I like what I saw right there out of Washington, aggressively calling for the ball, and that's what you got to do. You got to be able to score inside, and feeding Washington is the right recipe to cook up success.
Elmore James tries from the corner. He still can't land. Jones has to haul himself to Dukeman, who gets it in the corner. The shot from Kelly on the right wing. Still no 3s for Northern Illinois. 23 minutes in, and the Huskies haven't been able to get one. 0 for 13 on the day. Barnes from the free throw line gets it to Fish in the post. Fish on Washington. This is a marquee matchup. Turnaround hook shot for the sophomore Fish. It's 36-24.
Right there, if you're Washington, you just got to stay vertical. There's no reason to keep biting for every ball fake and movement that Fisk is doing.
Dukeman, mismatch on Mason Jones, and now Fish contests. The 2 big guys disregard Trey Washington, but then blocks him. Jones tries for a steal, and it's a reach-in instead. Mason Jones collects his first foul of the day. Both teams with 2 apiece, and we're less than 4 minutes in. Davion Hill and Gustav Winther check in for their respective teams. Mason Jones and Trey Washington return to the bench. Winther immediately gets the first touch. Now Denson on Dukeman. On the left wing. Valentine tries to shake and bake on Hill. Instead, he screens for Dukeman. Now Valentine slashes his way in and gets a bucket on Caden Fish. Soft press from full court for Northern Illinois. Cards have to swing the rock, and Davion Hill now brings it up.
And now if you're Ball State, this is where you have found yourself in these games struggling. Let's see how they decide to respond when running the offense inside the half court.
Hill is trying to weave through traffic and was looking for Armani Ziegler in the corner. Ziegler retreated to the right wing. Michael Lewis beyond himself with Davion Hill. Now it's time for another on-court promotion, and this is the famous putt from half court. Someone with a golf club at the Cardinal head, no, from full court, will try and sink a putt in a hole that's about 6 inches wide on the other end, from baseline to baseline.
I feel like you need to get your wedge out here, you know? That doesn't seem very, the short game doesn't seem very short to me, D-Bud.
Well, the last time someone sank this putt was last year, and it was a guy in our program.
Really? Who was it?
Braden Minix. Drilled it in an October game. I believe it was a volleyball promotion at that point. Now, the full court putt. Hard to manage on the hardwood. It'll have the distance. It's a good roll. This one's gonna be close. No! About a foot wide left, but a valiant effort Worthen cheers for one more shot.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to give it to him, too. You know, when it comes to putting, most people think the most important thing is the accuracy. No, it's really the speed at which you hit the ball, especially when you're hitting it on the hardwood.
Can this kid pull off Rory McIlroy? It's close. He drills it. Worthen Arena erupts. A full court putt hasn't been made in a year. And this kid gets a hug from Charlie Cardinal. Unbelievable. Baseline to baseline, no assist, and he drills it on the second shot. Are you kidding me? Now we're ready for the next 16 minutes. It's 36-26, Cards by 10, and there's a lot to be happy about if you're at Worthen Arena right now.
Putts going in, threes going in. You know, it's just a Ball State type of day.
I mean, this game has been crazy, but it's the on-court promotion that gets Worthen at its loudest. Not exactly what I expected from action, but you know what? I'll take it. Oh, my goodness. Glad they gave the guy one more shot.
Oh, me too. You know, especially when you're close. I'm a second chance type of guy myself. Now, if you don't hit it and you're not anywhere close, I like to say, move on. But I feel like whenever you're in a position like that and, you're just slightly off, oh, no, we got to run that back.
There are a few thousand people in this arena watching that guy try to putt it from baseline to baseline.
Pressure is on him.
Yeah, high stakes. Some sort of merchandise, a reward for him, and it's well-deserved. Probably our hardest on-court promotion, besides maybe a half-court shot for the women's basketball games, but you gotta love it. Long inbound for Ziegler. Is the 5-second violation called?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that was a quick whistle, don't you think?
It was a little quick, but Ziegler took his time. Blanket defense from the Huskies. Nonetheless, it's Gianni Cobb. Davion Hill wanted an illegal screen. Now he's a little lost on an island with Cobb, but it's Valentine on Denson. The mismatch, Valentine slashes in and gets the bucket and the foul. Cam Denson called on the infraction, but it's an and one for Mekhi Valentine, who finally gets going.
And Mekhi Valentine, last couple possessions down the court, hasn't really been shooting the ball as effective as he normally is used to. So he's been making that decision to put his head down and get to the basket. Really starting to heat up right now in the second half, and they're going to need more of that if they want to get back in this ball game.
After the boneheaded and one, Coach Lewis is strangely phlegmatic. Caden Fish takes a hard fall, immediately comes back up unassisted. Worthen held its breath for a second. It's a shooting foul, and the big fish goes to the line. Each team already at 3 fouls in this young second half. Fish's first shot, bricked. As the PA announcer says, Dylan Dukeman gets his 4th foul, one more, and he's out of here. Fish misses the second. He came in shooting 61% from the stripe, but unable to bring either in. And now Dylan Dukeman, who stays on the floor, is 1 foul away from an ejection with 15 minutes left. Gianni Cobb works on Denson. Now Dukeman gets it. He's got to be very careful in the rest of this half. Winther, back to Cobb, back to Dukeman, contested by James, air ball of a 3. Hill recovers and brings it up to Ziegler. Ziegler drives, circles back around.
If I'm Ziegler, I'm getting Dukeman out of here. I'm taking him to the basket.
Hand fighting between Fish and Mekhi Valentine. Valentine, the latter, charged with the foul, just his first, so no worries yet. Taj Walters checks in for Dukeman in a substitution we expected to see coming.
Josh Walters really effective on that offensive glass in the first half, collecting a lot of second chance points in the paint. Would like to see him get more paint touches in this half of play.
Caden Fish almost lined up for a three. Instead, he works on Winther, but gets a cutting Davion Hill. Baseline cut for Hill is all he needed. It's 38-29.
Beautiful pass by Fish, and even more beautiful cut by Davion Hill. So smart of him.
Gianni Cobb, does he make it the first three? Finally, the drought ends for Northern Illinois. 38-32, and the first three of the game comes 26 minutes in off the arm of Gianni Cobb. Big moment for Northern Illinois. They're now 1 for 16 from downtown. Ziegler works on Winther. Hill is alone on the left wing. Now Cobb contests. Post move from Hill. Cobb wants a charge. Hill gets the layup instead. Davion Hill now in double digits. Coach Lewis fully on the floor, screaming at Hill.
It looked like he was screaming at Fish. I think he wanted that screen to be a lot more aggressive.
Lewis, his team is up 8, still berating his squad. Gianni Cobb, shake and bake on James, kicks it out to Valentine in the corner. Trying for a mid-range. Instead, it's Taj Walters. Another three lands, 2 straight after missing all of them in the first half. But Ball State, their last 3 shots all gone in. Really starting to see more offensive production as the fatigue sets in. It's 40-35. Can Ball State keep the pace? Hill on the trap gets it to Ziegler. Ziegler works through 2. Cobb hits the deck. Who's the foul on?
I believe they're staying this way. I think they're going to say Cobb was charged with the offense, or the blocking foul.
Question is whether his feet were set. He wasn't lined up in the restrictive area. And it would be just that, a blocking foul for Gianni Cobb, his second of the night. Davion Hill will inbound on the lanky Gustav Winther. Preston Copeland checks back in. The bigs now, Copeland and Denson, work to help Devin Barnes, contested by Isaiah Washington. Denson alone at the elbow. Now it's Ziegler. Check that, Davion Hill, who now gets it to Ziegler. Back to Hill. Attacking at the wing for the 2-3 zone. Offensive rebound. Davion Hill takes it himself. 12 points off the bench for Davion, and it's a 7-point lead.
Way to rebound for Denson, not giving up on the play. And another beautiful cut, a mid-court cut right there from Davion Hill.
Opportunistic was the redshirt sophomore Davion Hill. Now Gianni Cobb navigates his offense on Devin Barnes. Step back 3 from the left wing, rattles around, but Davion Hill gets another board. Puts his hand up and slows down the Cardinal offense. Ziegler at midcourt. Starting to let this clock dwindle. Now works on Winther, who reaches in for a foul. And now Winther with 3 fouls. These Huskies really starting to get into some trouble.
And you know what? It's really when they're coming off these screens is when they're seemingly having the most trouble really trying to corral these guards. And one thing about this Michael Lewis team, and I know it was my biggest critique of them, but to their credit, my critique of them being that they are very one-dimensional in the sense that they can be very guard-reliant, and then stylistically, once they get forced out of that, it can be an issue. But when they're going and when they're playing into their style and it's effective, you got to think when you're playing through that position, it leads to a lot of speed disadvantages coming off that pick and roll. And so when you're coming off that pick and roll with Armani Ziegler and then Gustav Winther, he's trying to guard, he really has nothing else to do but foul. He's too slow a foot to keep up with the extremely athletic and crafty finisher like an Armani Ziegler.
These last few minutes have been neck and neck from both offenses. Perhaps this timeout is a chance to ice the two teams. We're going to take a step back Take a little breather. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Sometimes it's not the moment. It's the moment before the moment. The moment you make a choice. The moment you take control. The moment only you can own. Gainbridge lets you invest on your terms. So you're not only in charge of this moment, but all the moments to come. Start investing now.
You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Your home for live Ball State sports.
Just as the liner said, this is presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. For your next new or pre-owned vehicle, check into our showroom at the corners of McGalliard and Morrison Roads, or visit our website at victorymuncie.com. Again, victorymuncie.com. This is the last game of a 3-day gauntlet across Ball State sports. Men's volleyball facing off against Maryville, Charleston the next day. That was yesterday, as well as senior day for men's and women's swim, as well as a gymnastics meet at IU Indy. Today, gymnastics at Northern Illinois. Ball State now playing the Huskies here at Worthen Arena in men's hoops. In women's hoops earlier, as we mentioned, the Lady Cardinals fell to the Red Hawks 72-52 in their first conference loss of the season. But this is the last stop in this crazy Ball State weekend. All the chirp you can handle indeed. 42-35, 11.5 minutes to go. Cards lead the Huskies. Cards on a tear. 2 straight wins, a victory against Ohio, and then late game heroics from Davion Hill makes the win streak 2 against the Chippewas of Central Michigan. We're back in action. And as we mentioned, Davion Hill, second in points on this team. He has 12 off the bench and now commands the offense. Off the trap, gets it to Ziegler. Cobb jumps in a midi for Ziegler. Goes too far. Valentine now really pacing the floor. Cobb is there on the back end. Valentine in the corner. Rattles around and takes a Cardinal bounce. Hill takes it up one more time. Jones gets ready to check in. Cards offense slowing down now, but really starting to see much more off-ball movement than we've seen in previous games. Hill gets it to Barnes. Corner shot. No! 4 Huskies there to rebound, and Valentine will work on Amarty Ziegler.
Really should have hit Copeland right there, but nobody was looking at him.
Valentine, another 3-point try off the screen, won't go. Denson is contested, but it's a foul instead. And now with 10.5 minutes to go in the second half, Ball State already in the bonus, up 7. Elmore James and Mason Jones will check in. Jones will come in for Denson, who's shooting the 1-1, but to be in the bonus this early is a little jarring to think about, especially when you're down.
Yeah, and to your credit, that's probably one of the reasons why they're down in the first place. A lot of fouls that are being committed, whether it is reach-in fouls or just being late on rotations. You know, defensively, this is not a very sound game right now for the Huskies.
And if you're Dylan Dukeman or Gustav Winther, 4 fouls and 3 respectively, it means you have to play much more conservatively, which you don't want to do when you're down 8. Denson went 1 for 2 from the line. 43-35 now, 10.5 minutes to go. Gianni Cobb trying to make something happen. Instead, it's Washington on the left wing. Cobb takes it again, inside the arc, but back to Washington. Fighting through contact, Davion Hill gets the foul, but it's just his first today.
Davion Hill trying to coach up Preston Smith. I think he really wanted him to hedge right there on that screen, because looking at it, it seemed almost as if, you know, they were able to get through there, and that led to the foul being called. And Smith, you know, body language just not really looking too good right now, looks defeated. You know, if you're a young player, especially if you're a freshman, you got to be able to be coachable, and that comes from, you know, experience, of course, but you also got to be coachable from your veteran players as well. Excuse me, I meant to say Preston Copeland.
The two bigs, Copeland and Denson, leave for Fish and Jones. Jalen Wharton checks in for the second time today. Isaiah Washington drills both of his free throws. Had made 2/3 of them on the season. Coming into today, again a soft press. Looks like a 2-1-2 zone for the Huskies. Don't see that too often, especially not from full court. Now Hill works on Valentine in the post. Lefty finish isn't enough. A bunch of tips at the ball, shades of Dennis Rodman, but Taj Walters gets it at the end. Mason Jones has to sprint all the way to Isaiah Washington. Dispossessed and gets it to Cobb. Washington tries one more time. Alone is Mekhi Valentine on Elmore James in the post. Jump stop, jump shot, won't go.
Yeah, he's just forcing things at this point. He knows he hasn't been playing well right now, 0 for 6 from 3. He's just trying to shoot his way back into the game, and, you know, he's not really letting the offense come to him.
Huskies living and dying from downtown. Ziegler tries one. Offensive rebound for him. He missed from the left corner. Cards shooting 4 for 16 from beyond. The Huskies 2 for 20. Not much going on in three-point land. Ziegler on 2. Gets it out to Jones. Seeds back to Ziegler. Ziegler on an isolation. Mid-range jumper at the shot clock buzzer won't land. And now Gianni Cobb has a breakaway. On Davion Hill, Fish goes for the swat. But Cobb gets the layup. The lead is now whittled to 4.
That was a really good finish right there by Cobb. Ball State, last 2 offensive possessions, dwindling down to the end of the shot clock. And that press that NIU's been doing has been really affecting this offensive possession. And Bud, that's what we were talking about when we're speaking of limited offensive touches.
Elmore James tried for 3 again, didn't land. He's 1 for 4 today. The lead is still 4. Now Cobb has it. He's the first Husky in double figures. He has 11. Kicks it out to Washington, who tries his hand short and into the hands of Elmore James. He's outnumbered, but he drives anyway and gets the foul on Washington. It'll be a media timeout. Just under 8 minutes, it's 7:59. Elmore James will have 2 shots after the break. It's 43-39, Cards lead, but we've got a ball game on our hands, Zander.
Oh, absolutely. And that was a really smart play right there by Elmore James. He knows their team missed their last 3 shots, NIU starting to creep up a little bit on that lead. So he decides, listen, I'm gonna bring the offense to the team myself, and I'm just going to attack this basket, get to the free throw line, slow the game down for us when it's unfortunately been sped up due to their trap, due to NIU's trap and off-ball pressure. And so he's going to go to the free throw line, shoot 2. Very smart play right there by Elmore James.
James could extend the lead to 6. We'll find out in just moments, but for now, let's take a breather. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
As we hear from the public address, the next home game for Ball State is against the Bulls of Buffalo. They're the 7th seed right now. If the season ended today, a 3-4 record, but a dominant overall clip of 13-6. There's a few matchups going on today in the MAC. Kent State at the 3 spot is facing an Eastern Michigan squad that's been so inconsistent. The 5-2 Golden Flashes will face the Eastern Michigan Eagles of 3-4. Bowling Green faces Toledo interstate matchup between the 5 and 6. Both teams 4 and 3 in their respective conference schedules. And at the bottom of the MAC, 2 1 and 6 teams, Western Michigan and Central Michigan, are duking it out as well. We're about to be back in action here at Worthen. A tense crowd on hand. 43-39, Cards lead, but it looked much more dominant earlier in this game.
Oh, absolutely, especially when you're hitting your shots, right? Ball State now 1 of their last 8, 0 for their last 6, and haven't scored the ball within a span of just over 2.5 minutes. That's really going to play a big impact here on this game, especially when you're dealing with the NIU team that, hey, say whatever you want about them. They're a very tough basketball team, right? And that's how they have been recruited just for forming this roster by Coach Rashawn Burno. And they emphasize toughness throughout their locker room, and they're not going to quit just because they're down by 10 or 12 points. They're going to make sure that they're fighting through and through to the very end of this game.
Elmore James's first shot is good. It's 44-39.
Could hear a pin drop.
Second shot lands as well. James has 7. And in to substitute. Elmore James returns to the bench, and Devin Barnes will guard Isaiah Washington. Instead, it's Gianni Cobb to take it up. Now Washington give and go to Cobb. Movement from the left wing by Valentine, but reset to Cobb again. He takes Valentine's place, attacking at the wing. Now it's Valentine, those 2 guards trying to get anything going. Trying his hand is Jaden Wharton, and he rises above everyone in the post for a fadeaway jumper. 45-41, under 7.5 minutes to go. Davion Hill brings it up and gifts it to Devin Barnes.
Yeah, Coach Burno diving deep into his rotation. Jalen Wharton starting to see him getting some playing time tonight.
Caden Fish tried to muscle his way through Taj Walters. The latter is called for a foul. Fish went 0 for 2 in his last trip to the line. Walters in turn now his 3rd foul. Already 9 fouls with 7 minutes to go for Northern Illinois. No substitutions just yet. First shot from Fish, now he makes it. Still no movement from either bench. A dribble from Fish. The shot takes a Cardinal bounce. 47-41, and the Huskies find their back against the wall again. 7 minutes left, they're down 6. It's Cobb facing Davion Hill. Now Fish rotates to Cobb, who gifts it to Washington. Dukeman gets a screen, check that, Wharton. Valentine wanted a shot on the wing, but Barnes fouls him first. Cardinals now at 5 infractions, and Barnes gets his 3rd. Just a dirty game between these 2 groups, Zander. It's led to a lot of issues and dysfunction. Now Cobb, desperately trying to create. Valentine contested by Ziegler. Defense like a glove from Ball State. Washington goes for the lay, and Barnes now has his 4th foul. And it leads to an interesting decision from Coach Lewis as to how to manage your guard. It'll be Elmore James to check back in, and Washington goes to the line. Washington 2 for 2 in his first trip to the stripe.
Washington, someone that, is still finding his footing here on this team. Inconsistent playing time, but you know what? In a very murky game, like you already stated, D, but you got to dig deep into your rotation and try to find some type of scoring output from your players.
An opportunity for Tater Tots. Does he miss the shot? Free tots for all. 2 missed free throws from an opponent results in Roots Burger Bar giving out free tater tots. Taters from the Washington Miss. You gotta love it. Hill finds Ziegler in the corner. Ziegler taking advantage of the mismatch, a bump, a shot. Washington wins.
Very stout defense right there from Washington. Ziegler getting away with throwing that shoulder into him.
Valentine, a quick shot in the corner. Mason Jones was there, just not much he can do about it. The lead is now 3. It's the closest it's been since the first half. Huskies fighting for their lives. It's a full court press. Caden Fish gifts it to Hill, who resets.
Indeed, but we're going to see how Ball State responds to that press. Like we said, when you got to score in the half court.
Hill has a lane but misses the layup, and you heard his audible frustration. Mekhi Valentine now pressures the D. A shot for him, air ball.
One thing about him, you can't say he's afraid to shoot that shot.
Absolutely not.
He will shoot his way into a game if it's one thing or another. And if you're Coach Bruno, you really can't take him off the court because he's just that good.
Valentine has 10 points, but is 1 for 9 from beyond the arc. Full court press, now a trap on the backcourt. It's Davion Hill to bring it up. Damar Kelly on D. A glance at Ziegler. And Hill just playing around behind the arc. Now he enters the post with Cobb. Back out to Ziegler. Another 3. Yes! Armani Ziegler, 18 points. He's been on a tear in conference play.
He was really cold before shooting that shot. The last thing you wanted if you're NIU, for them to really just break a 3 after you just did so much work. And for them to break that press like that, real disheartening blow.
His last 4 games, 30 points, 28 points, 17 points, and now he has 18 with 4.5 to go. Cobb tries a midi on Fish, but Jones mosses Kelly.
They're going to slow this down, trying to milk as much clock as they can on this offensive possession.
6 points separating the Cards from the Huskies. Trey Washington checks in, getting ready to substitute for one of these forwards. Hill enters the post again, finds Ziegler. Does he get the same shot? A pump fake and Kelly jumps. Now he's on 3. Elmore, Mason Jones, skip to Ziegler. Does he get another at the buzzer? No. Shot clock violation. Doesn't matter as it's a miss from Ziegler. We enter the media timeout, and it's anybody's game. 50-44. Coach Lewis has his head in his hands as we get to the intermission.
Right. And if I'm Coach Lewis, I'm continuing to run that high post and pop action off that drag screen. Wherever I'm having Davion Hill bring the ball up, and I'm having those 2 screen setters, one go to the high free throw line extended area and then slide to the wing. That now creates an extra opportunity, especially for that cutter on that weak side corner. If you want to go back door, you can hit the post man can make that decision if he wants to throw it back, and that can go for an easy 2. And if the help side defender decides to leave his man, then you can easily just decide to kick that back to the 3-point shooter. And that's what we've been seeing over these last 2 possessions where Coach Lewis has been running. And so if I'm him, I'm continuing to do that every time, especially if they're not going to create any type of heavy pressure. And if I'm Coach Bruno, I'm not sure why you've decided to lean away from that full court press. I got to be able to get back into that. And yeah, they might be able to break it, but you got to be able to speed them up. You're down by 6, just under 4 minutes left to go into this ball game. If I'm NIU, I'm trying to find whatever type of defensive scheme that I can to make sure that I'm speeding their internal clock up so I can get more possessions for my team offensively.
Hill can work on Cobb in the post. If another guy crashes, you can kick it out to Ziegler on the right wing. If more people go to him and start flying around, you start the blender.
Exactly.
Elmore James is on the left wing, Mason Jones in the left corner. It's very clear Coach Lewis and his staff installed that play specifically for these Huskies.
Exactly, and one thing I want that whenever that big or whoever's that first screen setter is that's sliding down to the high post, what I want him to do is when he catches that ball, you got to be able to look and hit Mason Jones cutting. Ball State, one thing, they do have the lead, but one critique that I can honestly say is they have missed a lot of those wide open baseline cuts from the corner. You got to be able to be a passer that is cerebral with your surroundings as a basketball player, and that's one of the next evolutionary steps that this team is going to take, is to be able to learn how to run that offense, not just from a scoring perspective off the dribble, which they have clearly done well today, but being able to have a good feel for the game and being able to play make for your teammates off the ball and being able to find open cutters. Once they take that step, you're going to really start to see this team catch its stride as we head into the later parts of the season.
The Dogs from DeKalb with 9 fouls have to play conservative, but it can still be one possession at a time.
Absolutely. Play conservative, but defensively, you're going to have to start playing like a dog. Right now, they're looking like puppies. You know, if you want to be able to find yourself in this game, you got to be able to really pressure that ball handler. No more soft presses or stunts that you're faking like you're going to press. You got to get the ball out of Ziegler or Hill's hands.
Gianni Cobb will get the first touch. The thrilling conclusion. In just a little over 3.5 minutes, Dylan Bud Zander Woods, the pleasure of calling some crazy action on the weekend. Valentine working on Ziegler in the far corner, gifts it to Washington. Bodies Fish, makes his way in, layup is good. Just a push off the glass, and the kiss was all he needed. Margin is 4.
That's just barbecue chicken alert right there. You know, Washington, too big, too strong. You know, yeah, he might only be 6'8", but that he packs a punch when he backs you down, and Fish felt all of it.
Zone coverage now for the Huskies. Ziegler gets it back up top by the Cardinal head, trying to find the opening. Soft man for the Huskies. Fish a screen, Hill doesn't take it. Now he slashes on Cobb, layup is good. Davion Hill, when his number's called, continues to deliver. 14.
Hill is just too physical of a player, and when he really decides to put his head down and drive, not too many guards can really keep up with his frame of being 6'2", 220, built like a running back.
Valentine tries to get it to Washington in the post, but Mason Jones comes soaring in from the corner to dispossess. It'll be Davion Hill.
You know, that's what we see Mason Jones do so well. Way to shoot the gap and come from the other side of the court to anticipate that pass.
Now it's the same play again. Walters came from the opposite side as an answer to Hill in the post. Now Ziegler on the pick and roll. Tries it past 2, Fish gets the ball. Fish tries for the bank, it's a scramble. Whose call? It's Ball State's. Just under 2 minutes to go. The margin is 6, 52-46 Cards lead. A minute 58. And checking in, Dylan Dukeman with 4 fouls.
And D-Bud, again, going away from that pressure, you're allowing them to run an offense on the half court, which they're not even primarily good at or known for. You got to speed this up.
Huskies going for defense. Washington in for Gustav Winther, and Davion Hill may have just given the dagger. His 16th point results in a 54-46 advantage for Ball State. Timeout is called by Coach Berno, and for the first time today, Michael Lewis smiles.
Yeah, I think that might be the story of the game, seeing, just a little bit of relief for a very stressed out individual like Coach Lewis. But, for NIU, when you're seeing that cutting Elmore James, I saw that play, and I'm sure you did. You saw that play develop the whole time. Not one NIU defender got a hand on him. You can call out the play all you want. but if nobody's going to get physical and nobody's going to want to put a body on Elmore James, especially with these guards being as physically imposing as they are, when they want to get downhill and they want to drive, that you're just giving him a full head of steam straight to the basket.
For likely the last time in this match, we're going to take it to break. The thrilling conclusion in just a moment. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
You're listening to Ball State Sports Live with SL Digital, the best student radio channel in the country. This is Jack Kaiser. I broadcast for Big Ten Network, and I'm a proud SportsLink alum. Chirp, chirp.
Ranked number 1 in the nation by the Broadcast Education Association. This is Ball State Sports Link with SportsLink Digital Radio.
SportsLink Digital Radio is presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. For your next new or pre-owned vehicle, drop by our showroom at the corners of McGalliard and Morrison Roads, or check out our website at victorymuncie.com. Fight song plays from the pep band. Ball State ahead of the Huskies 54-46 on a frigid Saturday evening. A current temperature of -3 in the middle of Indiana. And at the heart of the state, some high-quality basketball.
I really don't even want to talk basketball anymore after you just informed me of the weather. I feel like I might have made a poor decision coming out here. D-Bud, I love you, but man, that is going to be a walk to the car in a parking lot.
It's where you start making business decisions. This is the line where style isn't as prioritized as comfort.
Oh, man.
And you just know, because it's Indiana, you know there's going to be somebody in shorts and a T-shirt.
Oh, absolutely.
There's always one.
Oh, I'm sure we could spot them out in the crowd if we really wanted to pay our attention to it.
But back to basketball. Dukeman takes it on the right wing. A feed down low. Washington puts up a shot. Whistle's called. Whistle's blown. The foul's on Mason Jones. Both teams in the bonus. So it'll be Trey Washington for the 1-and-1. He makes both, and this lead goes to 6.
This time around, number 7, Washington will shoot 2.
Trey Washington shooting under 50% coming into today, 45 from beyond the stripe. 1 for 3 today from free throws, now 2 for 4. And in comes the 6th man, Damar Kelly, for Dylan Dukeman, who has 4 fouls. Just conserving the guard while he's in foul trouble. And now Wharton will check in. Whistle blows. Shot is made from Washington. Wharton is substituted for, interestingly, Mekhi Valentine. No, check that, Trey Washington. Valentine thought he was getting subbed out, started getting frustrated, and then found out he was all good. Caden Fish comes in for Elmore James.
Starting to see a little bit of that pressure that we were talking about.
It's a trap in the backcourt by Northern Illinois. 1:20. Cards by 6. Armani Ziegler, Damar Kelly. Ziegler works on the outside, and now it's Barnes. Cedes it to Hill. Hill blows it by Valentine, gets it down low to Caden Fish, who jams it home. Caden Fish might have just given these Cards the dagger. Now it's desperation time. Layup is good from Damar Kelly, and immediately a timeout. It's 56-50 with 53 seconds to go.
Yeah, defensively, I'm just not sure what you're doing right there. You allow Davion Hill to just back you down, get into the post, and then finding a cutting Fish. Beautiful cut, by the way, I should add, as you're able to find him in the paint. But you don't send a double team not once throughout that possession, and you're able to just bleed out the clock as they're able to methodically get to the basket, and you just wasted around 20 seconds on that possession. And so, you know, now you got to start thinking about fouling and not sending, you know, a hard blitz off that full court pressure, off that initial inbound, and really start to try to get the ball out their hands or foul quickly under a minute to go the rest of the way.
Caden Fish's first field goal. A yam with authority. Cards lead by 6, but they have to inbound on likely full court press from Northern Illinois. Ball State leads by 6, just under a minute to go at Worthen Arena. It's a football play from here. Ziegler will be the one to throw it in. Crossing routes, it's Hill. Does he get fouled? No. It's a trap, and Elmore James is open. He gifts it to Devin Barnes. They're going to try and milk out this clock. Now Davion Hill.
Why is no one fouling?
Nobody's fouling. No contest from Northern Illinois. That clock is dwindling. The Huskies coaching staff is screaming. Hill tries to take it himself out to Barnes from beyond the arc. Damar Kelly follows. Now it's Hill. Wharton on him. Hill, shake and bake, the spin, and he's fouled. Wasted so much time on that possession, and now Davion Hill could really put the icing on the cake.
I just don't know what's going on, and I'm so sorry, D-Bud, that I might have cut into your broadcast, but it genuinely it invigorates me because I'm not sure what's going on. You're allowing him to come across half court. He sticks with the basketball in his hand the whole time of the possession, and then he does a spin move into the lane to get to the cup on a shooting foul. They're not really sure what the decision is right there from this NIU coaching staff. If you're going to foul, why are you going to do it so late off of a shooting foul? You need to get under him. Now you only have 26 seconds left. You're able to milk 24 seconds off the clock from inbound to the point at which they're shooting the free throw.
Dukeman checks in for Wharton, and cards go for size. Mason Jones for Devin Barnes. Davion Hill misses the first and bricks the second. Dukeman the rebound. Now it's scramble mode, still a 2-possession game. Gianni Cobb gets a screen working on Ziegler. Step back, corner 3, air ball, offensive rebound. 14.8 seconds now. The Huskies still could do this.
You need to get a quick shot, and then you must foul. Foul, actually.
It'll be Cobb to inbound. He gets it to Dukeman. He has to throw up a shot. Clanks off the rim. Offensive rebound. Damar Kelly out to Dukeman. Right wing, he drills it. There's 6 seconds left and a timeout is called. 1-possession game, 56-53. For the second straight game, Ball State will win or lose at the buzzer.
Okay, if you're NIU, you've already wasted around 50 seconds. You're not really in a position to play around with this anymore. You got to be able to foul or at least go for the basketball the moment that inbound pass is released from whoever is inbounding the ball. And if I'm Coach Lewis, I want the ball in the hands of probably a Fisk, and I'm having all my guards or my best free throw shooters out on the court at this point. So the moment they receive the ball, you got to think it's under 6 seconds, so you don't have to cross half court. You can literally just hold the basketball and be prepared to go to the charity strike.
You've got to contest the inbound, then if you can get a hand on it, somehow retain possession, shoot a 3, and make it in 6 seconds. If the Cards get the inbound, you've got to hope they miss both their free throws, then drive all the way down with no timeouts and drill a 3.
And I'll tell you what, if they miss their free throws by whatever stretch of the imagination, NIU gets the ball past half court, you have to foul immediately. Because at that point, you're wasting precious time off the clock, especially if it gets under 3 seconds. I'm fouling immediately. Try to make sure that they're not even able to get the opportunity to get in the motion of a shooting call. If I have to grab somebody up or whatever.
The inbounder will be Armani Ziegler. Jalen Wharton will be the one to try and swat it from the guard. Now there's a stoppage in play. The official goes to the scorer's table. Jalen Wharton is now frustrated. I wonder if the question is an illegal substitution. I believe it might be. But to lose on something like this, I believe it would be a technical foul. So now Wharton checks out because it's not a technical substitution, and Dukeman comes back in. He didn't properly go to the scorer's table. They're lucky they didn't get a technical for it because that could be the dagger. Anyway, Ziegler, football pass to Davion Hill. It's just a milk clock. Hill received it all the way to our near side corner. Ziegler was just trying to get it as far out as possible. Immediate foul by Mekhi Valentine, and Davion Hill, who missed his last 2 free throws, now goes to the line for a chance at the dagger.
Yeah, absolutely, at the charity strike right there. Ziegler with a beautiful fade ball on the right corner.
Hill makes the shot, and there is your dagger. Davion Hill, his 17th point, likely the last nail in the coffin for the Huskies. Does he make another? He does. No timeouts left for the Huskies. Jones comes in for Devin Barnes. Michael Lewis screaming at his guys to come up in full court. Dukeman will take it from the backcourt. 4, 3, 2, 1. Do they get a shot off? Not in time is the Valentine 3. Ball State wins it in the last seconds, 58-53.
And that possession just took way too much time to develop. With under 5 seconds, I'm not sure why we're doing a dribble penetration handoff to try to get a fading three-pointer from the wing when you could have just at that point just gone down the court to shoot a pull-up jumper. But nevertheless, a 5-point victory for the Cardinals, their 3rd win in a row. I believe 3 wins in MAC play. You're now able to break that tiebreaker for that conference towards the bottom of the conference. And now you're starting to poise yourself in a good position going down the rest of the way. You played a very strong game. Again, the second half, it got a little bit shaky where at one point you were up by 12. They come back, but guess what? You found a way how to win. And now you're able to break that tiebreaker at home too. Being 4-4, you're now 5-4. You just got to find a way how to figure out how to settle things down on the road. But right now, this is a good win to build off of, a team very comparable to your skill level. And defensively, you had a very good, strong game plan, limiting NIU's top 2 scorers to be in the negative as far as box plus minus goes, and a really sound win at home for these Cardinal fans in the Muncie community.
NIU, now 2-6 in conference play, will drop down to 12 after the outcome of Western versus Central. As for Ball State, they move up to 3-5 and go from the 11 seed to the 10. Right above them is UMass, but the Cards lost to them earlier in this year. So a little bit of shuffling now after a thriller at Worthen Arena. Leading the way for either squad, it's a tie between Armani Ziegler and Davion Hill. And although Ziegler got out early, time and time again, Davion Hill just kept delivering daggers, whether it was a free throw, a mid-range jumper. He had a floater, and then even the assist to Caden Fish down low. That really was the exclamation point.
You know, ultimately for this Ball State offense, yes, we want to talk about Armani Ziegler, and as we should, just because of how much of a mirage of his scoring has come to really come to fruition as of late for this team. But if you're talking about the main catalyst of offense for this team, especially down the stretch, you would be remiss to even think about missing a Davion Hill. And what he does for this team, especially coming on to this level at the Division I level in his first year, it really cannot be praised or talked about enough to watch his progression throughout the season, being one of the best players on this Cardinal team. Down the stretch, time and time again, we saw him put penetration and pressure on the rim, considering he might not be stature-wise the biggest or have the longest wingspan, but he uses his 6'2", 220-pound frame to really get in other guards' chests and punish them at the rim. and he's able to score so many times in bunches, and he stays active. And like you mentioned, he's an opportunist. He is going to find a way to float around the basket when a ball or a miss goes up, and he's going to capitalize and get others involved on that last play where he dumped the ball down to Caden Fisk off a dribble penetration. He is probably going to be the main reasons for their offensive success continuing down the stretch if they can find a way to keep putting pressure on the rim, and it's going to start with Davion Hill.
The two guys for the Huskies that led the way, Gianni Cobb with 11 and Mekhi Valentine with 10. But I want to touch on our impact players. Preston Copeland in his 16 minutes, it was another story of foul trouble. 2 points, only one shot, and it was within the first 2 minutes of the game. 2 rebounds, 4 fouls, wasn't really able to make his presence felt, but Ball State, with their small ball identity, continued to succeed with pace. As for the Huskies, Gianni Cobb led the way in scoring, was 4 for 8 from the field, 1 for 8 from 3, and sank both of his free throws. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. 36 of the 40 minutes, Cobb was on the floor, 3 fouls to his name as well, but a great showing from the guard nonetheless.
Yeah, and at least I got one of my 2 predictions correct. But as far as Preston Smith goes, he's still a very young player in his collegiate career. He's still learning. He's still trying to figure out ways of how to be impactful on the game with physicality and finding that level of, when am I doing too much and when should I back off? And that comes with time and experience. And as for Cobb, like I said, he's such an active ball handler, and he's so smart with this shot selection now, as he's been improving over these last couple games, especially from January until now, or early January till now, I should say. And just his presence defensively, causing turnovers, being a true point guard for NIU, he was able to keep them into this game for the most part in the second half, and he started a lot of those, and a lot of those comeback runs were sparked through his offensive efficiency.
The one stat that really tells the full story, Zander, is from beyond the arc. Ball State 5 for 18 as a team, 28%, a lackluster number, but when you turn to Northern Illinois, 14% shooting 4 from 28.
Yeah, it was an absolutely dreadful outing for NIU, and Mekhi Valentine, your best player, just really struggling and forcing a lot of shots. And I'm not going to put the blame on him for why they lost the game. Of course not. However, his inability to create shots for others definitely put a very big mark on this game. Because when we're looking at it, though he's a great scorer, but what are you doing offensively to help get your teammates involved? And I think that can be a really big teller, especially when you're going 1 for 11 from 3. I'm never going to tell somebody maybe we should, stop shooting threes. Of course not, because that's what he's good at, and that's what he has been for this team so far, especially at this point of the year. But when you're having games like this, you got to start thinking to yourself, okay, I'm not shooting the ball the very best, and I'm not being the most efficient on the floor. So and what other ways can I impact this team? Defensively, it wasn't his best game. Later on, a lot of those rotations were because of him and the miscommunications, and he wasn't really getting his teammates involved like Cobb was. And so for him just going down, you got to take this as a learning lesson and try to find out other ways to be impactful on the basketball court.
Preston Copeland scored the first points of the game. And then the Cardinals never gave up the lead in this contest. Zander, any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Well, if I'm Ball State, one, you found a way how to win, and you were able to withstand the storm of that second half. And as we've noted, Ball State has suffered many second half woes throughout this entire season. And so that was a plus. And then on top of that, you've now shown that you can handle a press and that you can really slow down your offense and score in a multitude of different ways. And so now if I'm Ball State, I know who my alpha man is. I know who my top scorer is. I know who my main shot taker and creator will be in Ziegler. I now know who I want to facilitate and be a catalyst of sparking my offense in Davion Hill. And then on top of that, we're now able to have a lot more cutters and a lot more dribble penetrations through my bigs, like a Caden Fish. And also, we're able to see Jones get in there as well. The only thing I'd like to see them do better now at this point is be able to, like I said, be a more cerebral offensive player, being able to see those cutters, be able to get a lot of the off-ball movement involved in the offense. If they're able to do that, they should definitely be able to raise their offense, and a lot of those field goal shooting woes won't affect them as much. And also making sure that everybody's playing complementary basketball. It shouldn't just be one or two guys carrying the load offensively and everybody else picking up the pieces. There needs to be sound contributions from everybody that is getting meaningful playing time for the Cardinals.
It's a cold trip back to DeKalb for Northern Illinois. The final score, Ball State 58, Northern Illinois 53. This broadcast is one of SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. For Zander Woods, I'm Dylan Budd, saying so long from Worthen Arena. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time. Have a good night.
This has been a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.